This is part 2 of the Safe Food Sampling and Demonstrations at Farmers Markets and Community Events training series. I'm Megan Baumler and I'm presenting the material developed by Suzanne Dreesen and Kathy Brandt, University of Minnesota Extension Food Safety Educators. Part 1 provided an overview of the 2014 Minnesota Safe Food Sampling legislation. In Part 2, we'll discuss food handling practices to keep food product samples safe for your customers. The 2014 Safe Food Sampling legislation is a food licensing exemption for individuals providing food samples at farmers markets or community events. To ensure samples are prepared and served safely, you must follow and comply with the special event food stand requirements of the Minnesota Food Code. We'll review health and hygiene requirements, temporary hand washing station requirements, how and when to wash your hands, and requirements for water sources. You may pause this video at any time to take notes or view the online documents. Your health and hygiene are critical in the prevention of foodborne illness. Here are some important do's. Start with a health check. Preparing food while ill or recently ill and poor hand washing are the most common causes of foodborne illness. You must not prepare or serve food samples if ill with vomiting and or diarrhea for at least 24 hours after symptoms end. Train your volunteers and workers to report illness and to stay home if ill. Wash your hands often and do it right. Rub and scrub for 20 seconds with soap and hot water. We'll review the specifics later in the presentation. Bacteria can harbor in clothing. Wear clean clothes or put on a clean apron when preparing and serving food product samples. Keep fingernails short, trimmed, and filed. Bacteria and viruses can lodge in long and jagged nails. If preparing food, no fingernail polish or acrylic nails are allowed as they can chip and become a hazard. Check hands, wrists, and forearms for cuts and wounds. Cover any cuts with a bandage and wear single-use disposable gloves. Staphylococcus aureus can harbor in cuts. This bacteria is not destroyed by cooking or heat. Keep hair out of food by wearing a hat, visor, or scarf. Put long hair in a ponytail. And now for some personal hygiene don'ts. Don't eat or drink while preparing and serving product samples. This is not allowed because of hand-to-mouth contamination and saliva spray from chewing and swallowing. Don't wear rings, watches, or jewelry on your hands or arms. They are a major source of contamination. Personal items like cell phones and purses should be kept away from food preparation and service areas, as they are also a major source of contamination. Keep hands clean and wash them often. Remember that germs that can make us sick are invisible. We can't see them, but they may be on our hands. Hand washing is the most effective way to get rid of harmful germs and prevent spreading them. We'll go through the steps of proper hand washing in an upcoming slide. While hand washing is important to reduce and rid hands of harmful microbes, it won't make your hands sterile or germ-free. It's very important that you do not touch ready-to-eat foods directly with your bare hands. The germs that are on your hands will end up on the food that someone will eat without any further cooking. Ready-to-eat foods are served without any further cooking or rinsing. They will go into somebody's mouth and be eaten. If these foods are contaminated by a bare hand, once they're eaten, they can make a person sick. We know that most foodborne illness is spread by bare hands from food handlers, so it is a critical step to not allow bare hands to touch ready-to-eat foods. What types of ready-to-eat foods do you prepare, sample, and sell? Several examples are shown on this slide, and you may have more examples. To reduce the risk of contamination, what can you use to create a barrier between ready-to-eat food and your hands? On this slide, you see several examples of good barriers to use. Gloves are most commonly used. but you can use non-absorbent deli papers, tongs, scoops, knives, forks, or ladles. Do you use gloves as your barrier? If you do, be sure they are designated for use with food and fit your hands. There are many sizes and types available. Gloves that are too big or too small can become a source of contamination. Change gloves often and never reuse them. Remember, gloves are not a substitute for hand washing. Hands need to be washed after removing gloves and before putting on a clean pair. If you serve food samples, you must wash your hands under running water for 20 seconds. Use soap and dry your hands with single-use disposable towels. The handout shown here, Handwashing Station for Minnesota Farmers Market, approved for safe food sampling, is on the University of Minnesota Extension Safe Food Sampling page under Resources. It reviews handwashing station requirements and where to find spots to retrofit a thermos cooler with a flip free-flowing spout. To make a temporary gravity-fed hand-washing station, here's what you will need. A 5 to 15 gallon insulated thermos-type container with warm water in the temperature range of 70 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature needs to be maintained during the entire time that you are sampling or doing your demonstration. Verify this temperature with a food thermometer. Water needs to flow freely via the spigot or spout, so there is a steady stream to wet and rinse hands. You'll need soap, paper towels on a heavy stand so it won't blow away, and a container to catch the dirty, used water. This container should be about 15% larger than the dispensing unit to prevent spillovers, or if you use smaller containers, they'll need to be emptied often. You'll need a trash can or pail for paper towels. One that's covered is best. Lastly, you'll need a table or cart to elevate the water container off the ground so that you can properly wash your hands. Health inspectors have reported seeing temporary hand washing stations placed on the ground or on a street curb, which are not accessible for hand washing. Make sure you have the right equipment so that you can properly provide safe samples. When you arrive at your site, set up the hand washing station first before unpacking supplies or preparing food. The hand washing station is for you, the food preparer, not for your customers. Your hand wash station needs to be accessible to all food workers during food preparation and service, and needs to be located so that water does not splash on food or food contact surfaces during the hand washing process. A hand wash station could be shared between two vendors if they share a corner location and is accessible for both vendors. There needs to be enough water and supplies for everyone to last the entire time of sampling. Having your own hand washing station is preferred. In the event you are planning to share a station with another vendor and that person doesn't show up, then you can't provide samples. To adequately wash your hands, you need to maintain enough water pressure in the container. You need 1 gallon of water remaining in the container at all times. That's 2 inches above the spigot or spout. Bring extra warm water to maintain this level in your dispenser. If you run out of water or it goes below 2 inches, you need to stop sampling for the day. To help conserve water, after wetting your hands, turn off the spigot, apply soap, scrub for 20 seconds, and then turn the spigot back on to rinse. It's a good idea to have more than one person working your stand so that proper hand washing can be done when it needs to be. Customers will wait for you and want to see hand washing. Let's review. Wash your hands before preparing food, serving samples, and before beginning a new task. Wash your hands after restroom use, handling raw meat, poultry, eggs, and produce, handling animals, eating, smoking, coughing, or blowing your nose, touching your hair, face, or body, handling garbage or cleaning, shaking hands, handling money, or using your cell phone. Any activity that may cause hand contamination requires hand washing. Let's walk through each step of hand washing as required to comply with the special event food stand requirements. The hand washing process should take 20 seconds, and a helpful reference of 20 seconds is to sing happy birthday or the ABCs through twice. Follow these steps each time you wash your hands. First, wet your hands and forearms with warm water that's between 70 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. This helps to open the pores in your hands, allowing the soap to work better. Turn off the water to conserve your water supply. Then apply the soap, which will help clean and remove dirt and germs. Any liquid soap will do. However, we recommend that you look for hand soap without the antibacterial ingredient triclosan. A University of Minnesota study found that this ingredient kills fish that are in our lakes and rivers. Scrub hands, arms, and underneath fingernails for 10 to 15 seconds. Turn on the water and rinse to remove the soap, dirt, and germs. Turn off the spigot with a paper towel and remember to have a catch bucket for the wastewater. Dry your hands with a single-use paper towel, which can remove more surface dirt and germs. Also, wet surfaces transfer bacteria more readily than dry surfaces. Take the time to wash your hands well. Remember, gloves, wet wipes, or hand sanitizers, or washing hands in the dishwater are not substitutes for proper hand washing. Wash your hands often. If you do it when it's required, your trash can will show it. This is a photo showing microorganisms from unwashed hands after using the restroom. These yuck photos are available to download from the Iowa State University's website. The water you use for hand washing, washing fruits and vegetables, as well as cleaning and sanitizing must be potable. Potable means drinkable. Water can come from a municipal public water supply or from a private well if the well water is tested once a year for bacteria and nitrates and has met safe drinking water and well water standards. Typically, wells constructed after 1975 qualify. Water can be brought in via portable food-grade containers, which are cleanable and are of sufficient capacity for your sampling needs. You can use a hose provided that it's a food-grade hose and has an appropriate backflow device to prevent the backflow of contaminated water into the clean water source. The hose must be flushed and sanitized before use. Be sure to keep the hose and nozzle off the ground to protect it from contamination. You'll find great resources to help you plan, prepare, and serve safe food product samples. On the internet, search for University of Minnesota Extension Safe Food Sampling. Open the page and scroll down to Resources. You can view and download all of the resources shown here. This concludes part 2 of this 4-part series, Safe Food Sampling and Demonstrations at Farmers Markets and Community Events. In part 3, you'll learn about cleaning and sanitizing requirements, and in part 4, you'll learn about food temperature requirements and location and construction of sampling stand requirements and how to dispose of liquid and solid waste.